Hello and a warm welcome to Debbie Abbott's social media marketing class. Today we will be discussing Charles Schwab's social media audit. On the agenda, Mimi will start us off by discussing the social media audit table. Then we will have Rachaelle do our platform comparisons. Emilie is going to go over our competitors' social media. Then she will hand it off to Brenda, who will do our SWOT analysis. And then I, Julie, will do our recommendations for the company and end us with our conclusion.
So here we have our social media audit table where we'll be evaluating the effectiveness that the company Charles Schwab has in terms of reach and engagement. On their LinkedIn page, they have around 130,000 followers with 11 weekly posts. They receive a good amount of engagement from the customers, gaining around 590 likes and 2 comments. Although they do not respond to the comments, the comments are mostly positive. As for their Facebook, they have around 240,000 people that like and follow the page. They're very active in terms of posting, having around 1 to 2 posts daily. It gains around 10 to 20 comments and likes daily. They very rarely respond, maybe like 1 out of 5 responses, but the responses are mostly 50% neutral, 30% negative, and 20% good. As for the Twitter page, they have around 90,000 followers. They post around 20 posts weekly, gaining around 3,000 views on their videos, 10 replies, 40 retweets, and 93 likes weekly. They do not respond to the tweets, but the tweets are mostly 80% positive and 20% negative. Lastly, their YouTube, they have around 18,000 followers or subscribers. They post around 5 to 10 videos a month, gaining around 700 to 1.5 million views, depending on what video. Their comment section is disabled, so they do not respond, but the likes on the video are mostly 70% likes and then 20% dislikes. After analyzing their social media pages, we believe that their Facebook and LinkedIn is best in terms of reach and engagement. One recommendation we do have is to be more responsive to their customers.
Charles Schwab uses 4 social media platforms primarily: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Charles Schwab also uses Vimeo, Google+, and Instagram. In the interest of time, we've covered the top 4. Let's start with Twitter. Charles Schwab uses their Twitter account mostly for tips and recommendations, hiring needs, and podcast announcements. They don't repost other tweets often, but mostly focus on promoting their company and services. Scrolling through their Twitter page, it's easy to see that they use this account to increase engagement with their audiences. Next up is Facebook. Charles Schwab primarily focuses on podcast announcements, like this episode of Choiceology with Katie Milkman. Seasonal advertising seen here in this advertisement about saving money and talking openly about finances and long-term relationships. Brownie points for it being posted the day before Valentine's Day. We see you, Charles Schwab. We see you. Facebook Live events like this one recorded at the Impact 2019 event. Hashtag Schwab Life about why employees love their jobs. Rita here feels like she's been hanging out with friends when at work. Overall, it seems like they're using this platform to engage with a broad audience and show that finances don't have to be dreadful. Now we have LinkedIn. Charles Schwab uses their LinkedIn to recruit all of their future Schwabies. No, I didn't make that word up. Hashtag Schwabie for life, hashtag Schwab life, hashtag hiring. They recognize community involvement within their teams, like these awesome Schwabies from Washington, D.C. that provided meals for government workers during the shutdown. They promote the culture at Charles Schwab with posts like What I Love, featuring various employees. From posting hiring ads to promoting the company culture, hashtag Schwab Life, LinkedIn is obviously used to attract future Schwabies. Last up is YouTube. Charles Schwab's YouTube channel focuses on a variety of videos. The first being Schwab Market Reports that provide timely perspective on the market and economy. They have videos for investors where experts provide insight on a wide variety of financial topics and videos to help you plan out your life and retirement goals. There are videos for traders in an attempt to convince them why Schwab is a great choice for them, and videos for advisors that go over things like asset custody, trading, and operations support. At the bottom of the page, they have videos like Own Your Tomorrow that are stories from customers and their commercials. YouTube seems to be for informative videos, financial education, company promotion, and storage of past commercials.
The two companies we've chosen to analyze are Fidelity Investments and TD Trade America. Fidelity Investments offers financial planning and advice and wealth management services. TD Trade America specialize in more of the investment side, like bonds, trading, management, things like that. For Fidelity Investments, they have the same amount of followers as our company on Facebook and YouTube, triple the amount of followers with us as on Twitter, and half of the following as us on LinkedIn. Overall, their presence is pretty split. They have 50% negative comments and 50% positive comments on all of their social media channels, besides LinkedIn, where they actually have 100% positive comments. In terms of TD Trade America, they have more followers than our company on every single social media by a lot, upwards of 100,000 followers, more than us on Facebook. The only social media platform that they have less followers than us is LinkedIn, where they only have half of the amount that we have. Overall, the comments on the social media are 80% positive, besides Facebook, where it's 50% negative. It seems like most people go to Facebook to complain about the lacking of customer service that they're receiving.
I'll briefly touch base on Charles Schwab's SWOT analysis. Here are Schwab's strengths. They are consistent in branding and design. They maintain a professional tone and similar images throughout their accounts. They post plenty of value-added content, so tips and advice from experts in the financial industry, and they're very active on their accounts. For example, they tweet or retweet at least 3 times a day on Twitter. As for their weaknesses, they lack engagement on their accounts. Even though they have thousands and thousands of followers, they only receive 1 to 2 comments per post. And they don't respond to most of their negative comments. I noticed that out of every 4 negative comments they receive, they only respond to 1. And lastly, they don't utilize hashtags enough to extend their reach on social media. On the other hand, here are their opportunities. Because mobile device use is increasing, Schwab can create more videos and post on YouTube. They can also promote more events on their accounts, especially those that pertain to local offices on Facebook. And they can post content relevant to current trends. For example, on YouTube, they posted a video on the recent government shutdown, and it received over 100,000 views. As for threats, competitors have a strong presence on social media, like Fidelity and Vanguard. There is also systemic risk present, which is the risk of collapse of an entire financial system, like the Great Recession. And lastly, there is also reputation risk. For example, if they have something internal that were to happen that was perceived as an unethical dilemma, then it would damage the brand, similar to what happened with Wells Fargo recently.
Now let's talk about how Charles Schwab can improve and how this can impact the customer journey. Based on our observations, we recommend that Charles Schwab continue to take advantage of the platforms they're receiving the most engagement in, which is Facebook and LinkedIn, and put additional effort into platforms that they have weak presence in, platforms such as Twitter and YouTube. We suggest that they link all forms of social media in their posts for Facebook and LinkedIn to drive more traffic and awareness to Twitter, YouTube, and other forms of social media. They should continue to make relevant content, perhaps target a more mobile user, since many users digest their media through mobile devices. We also recommend utilizing hashtags, #SwabbyForLife. Lastly, we also recommend the company engage with their customers and make a little bit extra effort to respond to all kinds of feedback, especially negative feedback. This will improve the customer journey and help promote loyalty. Winning over an angry customer can even create a positive testimony and lead to advocacy. #SwabLife. That concludes our social media audit for Charles Schwab. Thank you.